Hello, it's Sherry from What Children Really Want. Would you like to hear a traditional fairy tale? This is an audio story, which means you won't see the pictures. You'll just see a nice screen with some twinkling stars on it. So just relax and listen to the story of Cap o' Rushes. A king once had 3 daughters whom he loved dearly. One day he called the girls to him and asked them how much they loved him. "I love you more than I love my life," said one. "I love you better than anything in the world," said the second. "I love you as much as uncooked food loves salt," said the third. "Why, you don't love me at all," he said, and he told her to leave his palace at once. So the poor girl left her home and went away till she came to a river with rushes growing along the banks. She gathered several armfuls and made herself a sort of rush cape with a hood that hid her clothes. After many days, she arrived at a large castle. "Do you want a maid?" she asked the sentry. The sentry took her to the cook. "Can you wash pots and scrub pans?" said the cook. The girl nodded her head. "Very well," said the cook. "What's your name?" But the girl wouldn't tell. "All right, we'll call you Cap o' Rushes." So Cap o' Rushes she became, and she stayed in the kitchen, scrubbing the pots and pans. One day there was to be a ball at the castle, and all the maids were allowed to go to watch the dancing. But when evening came, Cap o' Rushes said she was tired and wanted to go to bed. After the others had gone, she took off her rush cape, washed herself, and went upstairs to the hall. There she danced every dance with the master's son, who fell in love with her the moment he saw her. After each dance, he asked her her name and where she had come from, but she refused to tell him. Then he gave her his ring, saying that he must see her again or he would die. Before the ball was over, Cap o' Rushes slipped away and was in bed when the other maids came in. Her master's son inquired far and wide for the lovely lady he had danced with, but nobody knew who she was. He grew pale and thin, and eventually took to his bed and refused to eat. One day Cap o' Rushes said to the cook, "Let me make some soup for the young master." The cook agreed, and Cap o' Rushes made a delicious smelling soup. But before it was carried upstairs, she secretly dropped the ring into the bowl. Because the soup smelt so good, the young man couldn't resist eating it. And imagine his surprise when he saw his ring at the bottom of the bowl. He immediately sent for the cook and demanded who had made the soup. "I did," whispered the cook. "No, you didn't," said the young man. "Tell me who made this soup." "It was Cap o' Rushes," said the cook. "Send Cap o' Rushes to me," he ordered. When Cap o' Rushes stood before him, he said, "Who are you, and where did you get this ring?" "I'll show you," she said. She took off her rush cape and stood before him in her beautiful clothes. Well, her master's son got better pretty quickly after that. And soon it was announced that he and Cap o' Rushes were to be married. A grand wedding was prepared and everybody was invited, including the king, Cap o' Rushes' own father. But she still told no one who she was. Before the wedding, Cap o' Rushes went to the cook. "I want all the food that is presented to the king to be cooked without salt," she said. "Very well," said the cook, "but he won't like it." At last, the great day came and everybody sat down to the wedding feast. The whole company began to eat, except the king. He tried dish after dish, but nothing was to his liking. Suddenly, he burst into tears. "What is the matter?" asked the bridegroom. "Oh," said the king, "I had a daughter once who told me she loved me as uncooked food loves salt, and I sent her away, for I thought she didn't love me at all. Now I see she loved me best of all, but she may be dead by now." "No, father, here she is," said Capo Rushes, putting her arms around him, and then they were all happy. Thank you for listening to Storytime with me, Sherry. I'll see you in the next video.